And it's green. Welcome to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. No, it's not Edge of the Rabbit Hole. Welcome to Inside the Upside Down. It's been a crazy evening ever since we stopped the Edge of the Rabbit Hole broadcast. We tried to come down here to Molly's room, and we thought it would be a nice treat to be able to do this from here, since you guys have heard a lot of stories about Molly, and we're going to get into some of those here in just a moment. But as we were trying to reset this back up, because we've been having some crazy issues. I mean, we're just 20 feet down the hall. We've extended it a little bit, should be fine. We're having all kinds of crazy issues. And so as we're trying to fix this, get adjusted and all that, you just had something happen off camera.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting in a chair, minding my own business, kind of looking around the room, and all of a sudden something cold grabbed my arm, and I was like, because it kind of scared me a little bit. I wasn't gonna lie. I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't feel a heads up neither. Usually I wasn't even thinking anything. Like my mind just, looking around.
Yeah, she's just sitting down in the chair right over here.
Yeah.
And boom. You were like, and I'm like, something just happened to you?
Yeah, whoever it was, they have very cold hands, because, I've been pretty warm. I haven't had to use a coat, but I felt that cold through 2 layers of, and this one's fleecy. This one's fleecy. These Honor Media hoodies are very warm.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
It's cold. It's cold. We have the space heater going over here, which actually got a little quieter. Maybe we should unplug that to put the blue lights in. I don't know. We had the blue lights going earlier during one of our failed broadcasts, and we've had to restart this thing like 3 times now. We heard, it sounded like a guy that had joined us up here down the hall. I thought Dave was coming back, Dave Nunnally from It's Raining Zin, who was part of our Edge of the Rabbit Hole broadcast on the real Mineral Springs. And it sounded like he was coming back up, or some other guy, maybe an intruder. And so walked down there, there's nobody. So things are starting to happen here. And a lot of you guys noticed things happening during that Edge of the Rabbit Hole broadcast. We heard a guy. All three of us turned our heads. And people were seeing like a mist behind Dave at times. And so, it's been an interesting evening here so far. And we just came down here to really talk about Molly's room. And some of you were suspecting that maybe she was vexing the broadcast, because like I said, we've had to restart about 3 times here.
Yeah, and I don't think she means to do it in a negative way. I just think maybe her friend Shauna's here, and she's just coming out,
Could be. So there's a $5 super chat down there from Tom McNicholas. Good golly, Miss Molly. Yeah. Well, that's the name of your the story in the New Encounters book. Good golly, Miss Molly.
Did you know that? If that's your name, I hope it is. I feel like it is. I wrote a story about you.
Yep.
You're in a book. You're famous, girl.
She's in a book. So let's try to do this again. It's been a little bit of a crazy past half an hour.
Can everybody see us okay?
Yeah, I see a green light. It's not red. See, it started off green down there, then went to red and did crazy stuff on us.
No buffering. I hate buffering. I hate it.
She never wants a job as a janitor buffing floors.
No.
Because she hates that buffering.
I hate buffering.
All right. So it looks like maybe we got that figured out. It's good now. So we're good to go. So appreciate all of you who have hung out with us. I know it's late, especially those of you on the East Coast, and so I hope you catch the replay. So this is what we call Molly's room. I'll pan the camera around here a little bit for you and give you a little bit of an idea. I'll try not to hit any of the buttons. So and you see our light there. So basically you come in the door, and it's not a very large room. It's one of the old hotel rooms, and you got this nice brick wall there, and the window that kind of goes. It was really a breezeway out there, and then you kind of see the windows that go outside, and then basically there's just studs directly behind you. And there's Shauna. Isn't she beautiful? So that's the room, and we have a number of different investigation videos out there where we come into this room. Now, it was really kind of when we first walked in here, we knew something was up with the room. We didn't know what, but we had, I'm kind of sensitive. Shauna's very sensitive. We knew something was up with this room. So we started doing a little investigating. The first time here, and we didn't get a lot, but we did get your name on an EVP.
And to me personally, that's something. That's significant. To me, that's a place that I've never really, been around a lot or gotten to know anybody in it. Recognizes me by name, someone that I cannot see, To me, that's a significant piece of evidence.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they got it off of me calling you Shauna or something like that.
But they, as soon as intelligent energy recognizes you, that is the best place ever to start.
Yep.
To build a relationship with whoever it is.
Yep. So we decided that we would keep coming back to this room, follow up on that. Anytime that we would investigate up here, we have a lot of different live investigations from up here. This is probably one of the better places that we've been able to get reception, since there's so many other, like the pool. We've never been able to do the pool live or anything like that.
That is possibly in the works.
Dave has an idea that we might be able to do the pool live.
That's going to be cool as hell.
That would be very, very cool. So we've done a number of lives up here. We've done some other just straight paranormal investigation videos out here. And one of the more significant ones, we'll kind of walk you through it a little bit. We had been investigating this room a little bit. You were just picking up on she had brown hair. We weren't getting a lot that was significant. But then as we were going out into the hallway, we'll pan back to the hallway so that you guys have a little action going on here in the video. So we went out to that hallway, and Shauna, you kind of were feeling a little bit more like drawn back to the room, like maybe somebody was coming out into the hallway with you. You're kind of feeling drawn back. And we got that hey EVP right there.
Right. So, felt like we should probably come back.
But we didn't. But we didn't. We stuck to our plan, which was to investigate another room. So we went to the next room down the hall, which you guys can't see it too well through here, but basically it's on the other side of these studs. There's a lot of open walls here. So basically in a room over there, we stuck around for a couple of minutes, and we heard what sounded like the scrape of a chair across the floor. One of these metal chairs that are over here, like you see that one where my bag is on right now. It sounded like that scraped across the floor. So we came back in, and we got another EVP. And it said, "Where are you going?" So one of those interesting, and this is kind of cockeyed, isn't it? Fix that a little bit. All right. So one of those interesting investigation moments where you look over like a 5-10 minute span of time, and we're coming out of the room. Something wants you to come back in. You get that hey EVP, like, hey, we go in there, and maybe to grab our attention, scrapes the chair across the floor. We come back in. Where are you going? That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the channels are not always clear for me or for whoever. We don't always hear stuff, and we don't always hear the voices. So, if we could hear voices, like you guys are hearing us talking to you in real time, that would be much better. But it doesn't always happen like that.
Right.
Whether, either they don't want it to be like that, or it's just not. They just can't. They just aren't able to do it. So, for whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
And then, but when they're really, really frustrated and really determined to get your attention, they will do it.
Yep.
I think it just takes them realizing that they have the energy to do it, and then realizing that there's other energy that like for me, if I get close to if there's something in the room and I get close to it and I can feel it, it's like, hey, it feels like this whenever I come over here. So
They want you to get closer to the microphone.
Closer to the microphone. Is that better? I'm not used to having a microphone in my hand.
Yeah, so Dara's wondering how far from Pearl's room we are. It's like maybe 20-25 feet down the hall. It's not very far at all, which is one of the perplexing things about why we were having so many issues. We just extended the Wi-Fi, just slapped down another wireless adapter which should have been fine because it's actually closer than the setup we have at home, which is from our dining room to the studio. But this was just junking out on you. So yeah, it's not that far from Pearl's room at all. So basically Pearl's on the corner, we're down this hall, and then who Bree thinks is named Candy is down the other hall. So it's basically an L right here. And there is a guy up here. You know, we don't really encounter him, although we may have a couple times tonight.
Yeah.
But people have talked about him before. All right. So let me see if there are any other questions. Yeah, they're talking about the studs. Okay, so Judy Wilson's wondering if we think that the spirits in here interact with each other. That's a good question.
I know that I have heard proof of spirits interacting with each other. I don't know about here or not. I don't have any solid evidence of that, but I know that they can. I've had EVPs of two different voices carrying on a conversation with each other.
Right.
Heard a spirit of this really ugly man saying, you know, you're like this really mean sounding, you know, voice. And then after that, you hear a woman say, leave them alone. And then you hear him say something again. And then you hear, yeah. And then you hear her tell us to just go.
Yeah.
So.
And I've been on investigations where we're just setting up. And I usually run audio from the very beginning, from once we walk in the door, because you never know. And most of it can be filtered out as, you know, us talking and, you know, getting set up and, you know, all that other stuff. But there was one particular investigation where you heard underneath all of us doing our thing, we shouldn't talk, you know, said twice like that, you know, like one spirit talking to another, because we were talking about, you know, our investigation and different things that we were planning on doing and that sort of stuff. So it's like, you know, we're, I guess unbeknownst to us, as we're kind of laying out our game plan for the investigation right there in the house, the spirits are there hearing exactly what we're saying and conspiring that, hey, these guys are going to try to like talk to us, and apparently they don't want to be known. More than one, because it was we shouldn't talk. So yeah, so they do know it, but again, I guess the question is for here, and I don't really know of a story that, you know, has multiple spirits interacting with each other like that here. Yeah. So, but when it happens, it's pretty cool. Okay, so we had those number of things happen to us here. I guess the next more significant thing was at the Paracon, which was last year, June 1st this year, the Haunted Road Media Paracon. Be here, be square. So you're sitting right where the computer is now. I was sitting in this chair over here, which I don't think they can. It's here, which is basically like right here, and then that Brandy was sitting over there where my bag is, and things were kind of winding down. Tom McNicholas was down the hall, by the way. Yeah, he was here. He was down the hall.
Yeah, and it was super hot up here.
It was pretty toasty.
It was pretty hot, and it was.
The first group hated it up here. Yeah. When they had to come up.
Yeah, and it was pretty distracting sometimes because it's just so hot and sweaty. You know, it's uncomfortably hot.
Yeah.
And wasn't really expecting anything to happen, only because there were so many different people doing different things with different devices and stuff like that. And so I didn't really expect anything to happen. But to my right in the doorway, I felt some different energy come in the room. And immediately I'm going to blow it off. Well, maybe it's Pearl because, you know, surely she doesn't stay confined to her room. Maybe she's coming to see what's going on, but it didn't feel like her. So... But the energy was definitely strong. It was pretty strong when it came in. I was like, ooh, you know, and it kind of made your skin crawl a little bit. So not scary or, you know, threatening or uncomfortable or anything like that, but just something new. And so then I'm asking, you know, trying to get a name. What's your name? And then usually whenever I ask a question like that, if I'm trying to get a name, sometimes, I try to focus, really focus. And sometimes I hear, sounds like a party going on in my head, kind of mumbling and murmuring and background chatter. And then every once in a while, a letter will pop out. So, so I asked for a name started with an M, and pretty sure I got it right. And all of a sudden, the energy was a lot stronger. So I feel like she came a lot closer. And then I felt someone poke me on the arm, and I kind of jumped, a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, starts with an M. And then the name Molly just flies through my head. So I'm like, what is your name, Molly? And
boom.
So
boom.
Yeah. Even without
Boom.
supporting documentation, I'm going to assume that Molly might be it.
And we say boom because you were about knocked out of your chair almost into my lap. And it was such a powerful, forceful energy that I was knocked back from it in my chair. So again, Shauna's sitting here where the computer is. I'm back over here. And she almost ends up in my lap, and I get knocked back. So it was pretty forceful. So
yeah. And I don't feel like it was anything, negative that she was trying to do. I just feel like maybe, I think maybe she was just excited that, maybe I got her name right.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody else, she's been able to communicate with, or
could be like that. Yes, finally, somebody got it.
So, for lack of a better way to explain, if I could have seen her, it would have been like she jumped on me.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Like all of a sudden, there's like all this energy just blanketing me and about to mow me over. And it's one of the more significant, stronger things that's happened to me here.
Yeah.
In terms of, being physically forced out of my chair. So
yeah, that was pretty strong. I mean, you've gotten, pokes and grabs. I mean, Pearl grabbed you the one time back in the corner room, but that was, I know it's the most forceful thing that I've seen happen to you here.
Yeah.
But wait, we're not done. There's more.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's more.
If you subscribe today.
Here's how to order. So, yeah, but seriously, we weren't done. I mean, that was in June. So back in September, we were just downstairs visiting Zen. You got to come to It's Raining Zen anytime that you're here. And, just kind of hanging out, having a good time, getting some tea, checking out stones, all that stuff. And Dave and Donna offered if we'd like to go upstairs for a little while, and it was it's finally like a beautiful day. It's not sweltering hot, like it is up here during the summer, or freezing cold like it is during the winter when we've investigated here, when it's been freezing cold, colder than it is today.
Yeah.
And so it's like, finally it's a beautiful day. Let's go up there and check it out. And so we came in here. We might have hung out in Pearl's room a little bit, or did we just come straight here? I can't remember, but it was.
I usually stop and say hi.
Yeah, I think we said hi to Pearl.
To Pearl, of course.
But we pretty much set up in here.
But this room kind of is a pretty big.
It's a draw.
Draw for me because, there's a mystery in here.
Yep.
We always stop and pay our respects to Pearl and hang out with her and talk to her because she's very much
she's made herself known
well in there.
Yeah.
But she hasn't quite helped crack the code of who's in here, and until somebody can do that, we have to come in here.
Yeah. So we're in here, and I don't know. Let's try to set it up a little bit. So Shauna's basically in that chair where my bag is. We have down in this chair, standing in this corner, where my cup is, Zara the zombie doll.
Right.
I almost did my little Zara the zombie doll tune.
Oh
I'm not going to do that. That would be too embarrassing. So, and then I was sitting in the chair where the computer's at. And one of the things that was really interesting about this is, and it doesn't usually happen, we have the K2, that's one of the tools that we use, and there was like a large, at least a significant baseline reading going on that day of like 3 lights, which just means you have EMF in the room at the time. It doesn't mean, oh my God, there's a ghost right here. It's just there's a baseline EMF of whatever how many hertz that is. So kind of watching it. We got the K2 on the floor. Zara's here. Shauna's over there. Trying to do some work, trying to communicate with Molly, all that stuff. And all of a sudden, the EMF on the K2 just was gone. Where'd it go? So I pick it up. I'm looking around. It's just gone. I didn't notice it at the time, but Shauna starts breaking down a little bit, and at some point, the little, like a little bit of an EMF came back on the K2, and I look up, and so Shauna's breaking down. And I skipped the shimmer part at the beginning.
Yeah.
But there's like this whole weird moment with. And I'll let Shauna talk about the shimmer. There was this shimmer thing first, then this thing with the EMF, which was immediately followed by Shauna breaking down. So, go ahead with the shimmer.
The shimmer thing, and this.
You're kind of off camera, so.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll just move the camera a little bit. There we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, the shimmer thing is. It's kind of a new development, really, and this is the first place that it's happened. I was basically, it looks like one of those heat mirage shimmers that you would see like on the highway when you're driving and it's hot, or like the little shimmery kind of effect, not with lights, but just like smoke, but without the smoke. I mean, it's a mirage, like when there's something really hot, when there's a fire, something like that. So I saw that in between me and the chair where Zara was sitting, and I said something about it, and I was trying to explain it because I'd never really seen anything like it before, never experienced it, and then it was there, kind of stuck around, a little bit, and I was like, okay. I was like, Molly, can you see my doll? Do you like dolls? And then instant sadness, pretty much. I mean, it just whatever it was
a different type of boom.
Yeah, it was just like all of a sudden I was so sad I didn't know what I was going to do, except for I didn't have anything to be sad about. So the only thing that I could think of, it was that Molly did have something to be sad about, and she was projecting that to me so that I would understand. I don't know if that's what she realized she was doing, but she did it. So but then it didn't last that long. It went away, and then it was just gone. Whatever it was just gone.
Yep.
So
one of those, really, intense moments in a different way, where before you're kind of getting bowled out of your chair, to this time you're just having this overwhelming feeling of sadness. But again, a very energetic moment, just a different type. But you think from the same person.
It definitely felt like the same person.
Okay.
It felt like the same type of energy, just a different emotion. So, I kind of wonder, was she sad because, she had a doll and missed a doll, or was she sad because my doll was a little scary looking? It
was a zombie doll.
Yeah.
It was kind of creepy looking.
So Vanessa is going to make another doll that's not quite so creepy,
right?
And like a cloth doll, something that may be something like maybe more like what she's used to. So
we'll see if that works.
Yeah, I don't even know how old she is. She may be older than dolls.
There were some questions down in here in the chat about things we might have thought about Molly. So the Tom McNicholas, yes, Tom McNicholas. After that happened, after we back at the Paracon, after we got knocked around in here, Tom did step in. So he was like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" You just missed it, Tom.
Yeah.
So, but Judy Wilson has some different questions. So, Shauna, do you feel different energy when it's Molly or Pearl?
I can tell the difference between the two of them. Pearl, I've gotten more used to, I guess. Her energy feels, well, she is older.
She is an older woman, yeah. Middle-aged.
But she seems...
Oh, she's, 54 or something like that?
Yeah. She's pretty hands-on, but she's not rude or, too overbearing about it. She'll grab your hand, grab your arm. There's been a handful of times when I felt her not just... she grabbed me with some pretty good force one time, but I think she was just really trying to get my attention. But then there's been other times where it kind of felt like she was kind of holding my hand a little bit, you know, and I'm okay with that. Yeah.
The other question, this was also from Judy. What timeline do you think Molly fits in? Excellent question. We're still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we know some different history of the hotel, but we don't want to specifically try to compartmentalize her into that because we don't have, I mean, we don't know of like a Molly who may have worked here, or, you know, we haven't come across a news article that says, you know, such and such a thing happened to Molly so-and-so at the Mineral Springs Hotel. You know, which are all things that we look for because we have a name now, so we're trying to find those connections. You know, I don't think, I'll say this, I don't think it was like at the beginning of the hotel's existence, like 1914. I don't think it's that old. I think it's a little more recent. I mean, this is just me, and I don't claim to be psychic. I'm the sidekick, not psychic.
Yeah, I kind of feel like she was just visiting. And there were a lot of people that came through here. A lot of people that came through here. So I don't feel like she's so much attached to the building because she worked here. I feel like, but I do feel like something happened to her here. I have no idea what. And I've asked her a few times, you know, if she could talk about why she's here, and
I think it'll come out with more investigating.
Yeah.
As we get to know her more, and we tend to find that happens quite a bit as we develop relationships with these spirits. Dave was talking about it on Edge of the Rabbit Hole. We've talked about it a number of times on this show and other things that we've done, other videos, that, you know, the more you go back to a location, the more you build that rapport with the spirits, the more you actually develop a relationship, a friendship, and all of that with these different spirits that are there. So I think that's definitely happening with Molly. That's kind of why we walked through this whole thing, so that you could see the development of how it just started with us walking in here, feeling that, yeah, somebody's here. There's an energy in this room for sure. And then it's a name, then it's Shauna's name, and then it's, you know, this whole, you know, back and forth where, hey, where are you going, to, you know, getting knocked off the chair, breaking down, crying, you know. So it's escalated each time that we've investigated here. And, you know, just at the beginning of this, well, as we attempted to start this show, all the failed attempts to begin with, in between while we were trying to fix it, Shauna's just sitting down here, and then you have something happen. So not as significant as some of the others, but it's still another one of those, hey, you know, somebody's reaching out to you.
Yeah,
that's dripping water.
Yeah,
it's pouring rain outside. It's pouring rain outside.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just like that. Like if someone sneaks up on you and grabs you by the arm and you're not expecting it, you know, you're gonna jump. And with anybody, it doesn't matter, you know, who it is coming up to do it. If you're not expecting it, you're gonna be caught off guard and you're gonna jump. Yeah. And I did.
So Candy was wondering down in the chat how many we were allowing to the investigation, the Haunted Road Media Paracon, June 1. So this is the way it's going down. I know this is kind of off of our subject for the evening, but that's okay, because we need to let people know about the Haunted Road Media Paracon coming in June 1. So this is the way it worked last year. We had 4 groups last year, and we're going to kind of do it the same way. We had 4 groups last year that investigated up here, this level. So Pearl's room, Molly's room, Candy's room, and, you know, kind of the L that's here. It will be hot, so yeah. I'm sorry to the first group. You're gonna sweat your butts off unless it's an unseasonably cool June 1 day. So we'll have another group in the pool area. Very, very haunted location. There are some limitations as to how far you can go. And we'll kind of help with that.
And I've got to be honest, this place is huge.
It's huge. So
so don't think, well, if I'm on this floor, am I going to hear anything going on when they're wherever? No,
you're not. You will not hear the other groups. There's that much space.
Yeah, it is big.
Really, you could have like at least six different groups running around in here, and none of them hear each other. So then we'll have another group in the grand ballroom area. So you have the whole, I mean, the grand ballroom is huge. Not so much in the grand ballroom as it is that bathroom area back behind there that Dave was talking about earlier. We've had some activity back there.
The portal potty.
The portal potty. Yeah, that was funny. The portal potty.
That's so funny. The portal potty.
I'm going to have a joke about that.
I feel like there should be a sign.
Yeah.
Portal potty.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. But then there's that hallway back there to that fountain where we're getting all kinds of water-based EVPs, and we're going to have our friend Lee Ehrlich is going to be here again. He'll be talking about water-based EVP during his presentation, and he's actually starting to write a book on it. And he'll talk about how to get that water-based EVP off that fountain. He was doing that last time.
Whenever it clicks, whenever your brain finally wraps itself around the thought of it, you'll just you'll be like me and be like, no, it's not that easy. There's someone else talking up there. There's something going on.
She went running back there. There's got to be somebody back there.
Yeah, because you'll just
somebody
hear,
would have to be intentionally screwing with us,
but
like hiding back there for some nefarious reason.
Full-blown words, phrases, answers to questions, point blank.
It was pretty wild.
It was crazy.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool though.
Yep. So that's the grand ballroom area, and then all the way down into the depths of Mineral Springs Hotel, down to the actual spring area. So the old slaughterhouse, bottling plant area. It's pretty creepy. Not demonic.
No.
Do not stand on the well.
If you do, you will be removed.
We will have to make an announcement about that during the Paracon this year.
Just because you saw Zach do it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah. No, that was really, really stupid and completely unsafe.
Not that I wish ill will for the building, but I kind of wish he'd have fallen in.
Oh, jeez.
Like,
they'd have blamed it on a demon. Like, they pulled everything down.
Sucked
them right into the portal to hell.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's the 4 locations. So I think the question, though, was how many? Last year, we had about 60 people.
Yeah.
Seriously. So 4 groups with 60 people, and, again, we did not hear each other. It's like, I mean, within your own group, sure, you heard each other, but you did not hear any of the other groups. So
I'm going to say this, because, I'm going to say it about the group that I would like to have with me. Because I was with one of the groups that were using several different kinds of ghost boxes and apps, and there was, one group using one over here, one group using one over here. To experience things when there's a big group and you're all doing something different, like you're not all on the same page, I don't think anything's going to happen except for the radio stations talking to you. So if you're going to be in my group, I do not want any ghost box or apps, and I'm telling you now, you will thank me later.
Old school only.
Old school only. So if you want to be in my group, don't even think about it, because I will send you with another group.
So we do already have our group leaders. So Shauna and I will be heading up a group. So this is the old school group. It is. Lee Ehrlich will be heading up a group. He did last time too. Then the Creeps Ghost Commandos, Adam and Alec Tillery will be heading up a group, and then Katie and Josh Hopkins will be heading up a group as well. So they got familiar with the building last year. They're going to be back this year, of course. So that'll be great. That'll be great.
Nobody be hating on me.
Yeah.
People are going to be hating on me.
So okay, Bree Jones is saying, I want to be in Shauna's group. So we need to get Bree here. So,
yeah.
So Betty says, Mike and Shauna, everyone is helpful and friendly on a natural high. Cool. All right. So I'm just scrolling here real quick. I know you just see the top of my head. Yeah. But that was a good question, Kitty. So
yeah,
we got to address a number of things there.
Like, will there be a cutoff?
It was funny. I mean,
I wasn't.
There were like 25 people that signed up on that night. Because
Yeah.
we had like in the mid-30s going into that particular day, and then that night, I mean, we let people sign up, and there was like 25 people that signed up that night. So it was pretty wild. But it all worked out. I have to thank Lee's daughter Alyssa and her friend McKinley, because they were handling a lot of those signups and everything, and so they did a good job. So good kids. Okay, so that's the story of Molly's room right now. So I thought we would do maybe a little investigating here. I know it's getting late. Of course, this, because of all the discombobulation, started a little bit on the later side, but I figure we can at least do a little bit of that, and then we'll wrap it up. I know people are already crashed out, gone to bed, all that great stuff. Those in the East, I know it's, what is it? Well, it's midnight there. Betty Lingy's, Wayne cannot walk, so he said, oh, well, yeah, Betty and Wayne were here.
Yes.
So yeah, and there's some areas, unfortunately, you know, there's some areas of the hotel that just they're hard to access for people that can't get around as easily, and you know, it's part of being an old historic hotel. You know, they didn't always have those amenities. I mean, I'm really shocked that there's not at least a elevator here, but there's not. You know, so you know, we understand that, you know, some people can't get from one location to another, and we are sorry about that, but it's the nature of the building. And you know, we're very happy to be here in this building and have the relationship that we do. It was a fantastic Paracon last year, so you know, we're gonna hold it here for as long as we can, just because, you know, we've built that rapport, and it's such a fantastic, you know, haunted location. So it's gonna be our home for at least a little while.
Yeah.
So all right, let me get out. I'll hold that. Don't put them next to each other. All right, what do we have here? So, excuse me. It's cold. My nose is running. That happens. I think you just yawned into the microphone.
Oh no. I moved it.
But excuse me while I wipe my nose, because that's what happens when it gets cold. So, there we go. Hi. Okay. Do not hand Mike a microphone. It happened. So, you know the way this goes when we go live is trying to use like a EMF detector or something like that. It's kind of it's not going to happen when doing something like this, just because well, usually we have a cell phone when we're doing this, but there's so many electronics and other things going on here right now. The computer, we got the soundboard down there, all this stuff. So we got you know, the heater down here. EMF detector's not going to cut it. So we'd be in all kinds of false positives. So going old school, we got the audio recorder. We're going to try to get some burst EVPs, and just, you never know. You never know. So. Fucking, you turn it on. Shauna's getting tired. We are gonna have to go. We are gonna have to wrap this up soon, because we have a 45-minute drive home. Hello, Mike and Shauna here. We hope, Molly, if that is your name, we believe that's your name. We hope you are here with us tonight. And if you are, we just want to say hello. If you're wondering who we're talking to through this camera here, and I do believe you know what a camera is, that we're actually talking to a bunch of other people through there. So we're just kind of introducing you and this wonderful building to the world, and we're just hoping to get to know you a little bit better. So, you know, are you with us here this evening, Molly? Were you the one that touched Shauna earlier, sitting down in the chair?
Did you grab my arm?
Did you hear some movement? Like out in the hallway?
Sounded a little louder than a drip.
And have you been following Shauna around, like to home? Her home?
Do you follow me? Are you able to leave here?
We asked that because of the shimmer. The shimmer is actually, ever since that day, Shauna's been seeing it off and on several times.
Everywhere.
So, yeah. So, all right. I can do this.
Hello,
Mike and Shauna here. We hope Molly, if that is your name, we believe that's your name. We hope you are here with us tonight. And if you are, we just want to say hello. If you're wondering who we're talking to through this camera here, and I do believe you know what a camera is, that we're actually talking to a bunch of other people through there. So I'm just kind of introducing you and this wonderful building to the world, and we're just hoping to get to know you a little bit better. So, you know, are you with us here this evening, Molly? That was Mike being too wordy, by the way. Shauna earlier, sitting down in the chair?
Did you grab my arm?
I think that the floorboard's creaking. There was a little whisper right there. See? That was the movement that I heard. That was the movement I heard. Shauna around, like, to home. Her home. That's me touching the microphone on you.
Do you follow me? Are you able to leave here?
Okay. I'm going to have to hold this a little bit better. But that sound was definitely, I heard that. I thought it was something out in the hallway, but we heard it on here. So what we'll have to do is, you know, when we get home, we'll listen to the clip a little bit closer and see if we actually hear a voice or something like that in there. So, and you said it sounded louder than a drip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody there for sure. See if you guys have any questions here real quick. Mike, was that you talking about floorboards? Yeah, that was me. That was me. There was a sound down there that to me sounded like floorboards. I mean, there is a little bit of give on the floorboards, and sometimes we step and shift our weight. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think that's what that was when I mentioned that.
But the other noise.
The other noise, no, that was different because we actually audibly heard that. I thought it might have been out in the hallway. I could be wrong about that. But the audio recorder picked it up.
Yeah.
So
It was somewhere close by.
yeah, definitely close by. So, all right, let's do another. I'm trying to think of what we should ask her. You got some questions for her?
I don't know. I'll wing it.
All right. Let me stop that. The better thing to do is to put this on something solid that won't move so your hand isn't jiggling it, but since we're trying to, you know, do this live for the camera, all that stuff, it's resting here in my hand, so I'll try to do a better job at not moving the dang thing. Hi again, Molly. I know it might seem a little silly trying to talk to you like this, but we really do want to get to know you a little bit better. Are you in here with the room with us right now? That was like a footstep nearby. Where are you from, Molly? That was a drip behind me.
Drip.
That's a drip over there. But that other one was right over there behind you. I'll let you ask the next question.
Molly, did you just touch my arm?
Did you feel something?
Every once in a while, I get just like this little poke. It's just like a.
Okay.
And I always wonder if I'm having like a tendon or like a muscle spasm or whatever. And so I always blow it off.
Right.
Unless it happens again. Ooh, like.
Oh, like right there.
Oh my God. That was.
So this is kind of like what happened. Molly, but this is in a different spot.
Molly, that wasn't you. You were not grabbed my butt, right? You know what it felt like, though? It felt like someone went.
Really?
Like, scraped down my pocket.
Okay.
Like right here. Like right there, it just went. And that wasn't cold. That was warm.
So this might be somebody different. There was definitely a footstep that was behind you. Then you felt something on your arm, and then you just
Because I was
something
gonna
on your butt.
blow the one on my arm off because it was just like a poke, and it wasn't even really a hard one. It was just really, so, and I couldn't tell if it was on the outside or not, and so I was like, well, it was probably just my clothes moving or a muscle jumping or whatever,
Okay.
but that was not.
That was not. Before we listen back to this, I want to see if anybody has anything in the chat. Somebody like Bree or somebody like that may have
And if that's
seen
not
something.
Molly, that is very rude.
And guess what? They have buffering again.
Oh, mother.
Don't. Because you know what? That is actually significant. So Bree says, I heard a whisper about floorboards moving. Oh, that was me. That was from earlier. Okay, so interesting. Because now we're getting this activity, whatever has happened to you, and we're back to this. So maybe it was somebody earlier screwing around in here, and that was interfering with the connection, and maybe they left for a little while, and we were able to broadcast for a while, and now that they're back, it's screwing with the connection again.
We're going to have to set some boundaries here.
Wow,
Oh,
okay.
my God.
Okay. That's interesting. So somebody's energy is screwing with our connection because it's been perfect. For ever since we started this last time, this third time's a charm or whatever, fourth, I don't know. And now all of a sudden, footstep. Well, we heard something. The first time we listened to this, footstep. See, I still think it was on the hall. Hall, footstep, shoulder, butt.
That wasn't
And
Molly.
internet
though,
connection craps out.
Is it still out?
It's going. It's just
Okay.
They're having some issues.
I don't feel like whoever touched me earlier had a cold hand. That one was warm.
That one was warm, so it might be somebody else. It might be somebody else.
I'll tell you.
Maybe it's not Molly. Maybe somebody picked up on like, hey, what are they doing down there? And came down here. Maybe it could be that guy.
I'll tell you
That guy from earlier.
What it feels like now is just feels like constantly I'm getting just pokes on different parts of my body. So
Okay.
I'm really not liking that at all.
All right.
I feel like
Well, I'm gonna do this real quick. Hey, whoever's touching Shauna, what's your name? You can't be touching her butt like that. It's fine to talk to us. Please do that.
I don't want to talk to you like you're a child, but use your words. If you want to touch me, you can touch my arm. If you want to touch my hand,
In a nice way.
in a nice way, but do not put your hand on my butt. That is so rude. No matter who you are.
All right, let me see if we got something. All right. Hey, whoever's touching Shauna, what's your name? You can't be touching her butt like that. It's fine to talk to us. Please do that.
I don't want to talk to you like you're a child, but use your words. If you want to touch me, you can touch my arm. If you want to touch my hand,
In a nice way.
in a nice way, but do not put your hand on my butt. That is so rude. No matter who you are.
All right, let me see if we got something. I didn't really hear anything there. And I know we didn't listen to that other little session that we did. I see some bold text down in here. Betty, I see a full figure on the brick wall. Does anybody else? Do you see a full figure on the brick wall? No, that could always be. Donna Gordon says gray hair looks maybe 50s. And then she says there's a guy who came in a little bit older. So, okay. I mean, we have heard of a guy up here. And earlier this evening, well, we twice heard a guy. One while we were doing the Edge of the Rabbit Hole broadcast. And then one when we were live temporarily here for Inside the Upside Down. We've never really interacted with the guy up here before.
Mm-mm.
Other people have. For us, it's always been the women up here. So, I don't know if this is him or somebody else. I couldn't tell if that was footsteps out there or the rain.
I mean, I have to assume
It is pouring rain.
I don't know if, like, I can't see her. Like, I can't see anybody. I saw Pearl at one time, maybe twice. But for the most part, I usually don't see them. I usually feel them, or I hear them, or whatever. So I have to assume I'm about 50-50. Can they just hear me but not see me? Because if they can see me, then there's no excuse for them to put their hands on me in an inappropriate way.
Right.
Unless you're a guy and you're just rude.
And in that case, I'm the only guy that's allowed to touch her butt.
Yeah.
So if you want to touch her butt, you got to go through me first.
And he's not really the one you need to be afraid of. I'm pretty hardcore,
And she is. You don't mess with her.
Pretty savage.
But I'd still take you out.
Yeah. I'm not like women used to be. Yeah.
All right. Well, Donna says he's kind of a creeper perv, and it's still buffering for them somewhat. So there's somebody here screwing with the connection, because I think that's what happened earlier.